I stood under the old cherry tree behind the school gym, rain pouring down like it was trying to drown the whole world. My uniform was plastered to my skin, but I didn't care. Mia was walking toward me, her umbrella forgotten in her hand, dark hair sticking to her cheeks. She stopped a step away, biting her lip the way she always did when she was nervous. "Haru," she started, voice barely louder than the rain, "there's something I've been wanting to say for a long time." My heart was already sprinting. "Yeah." She looked up, raindrops catching on her lashes. "I like you. More than a friend. A lot more." Everything stopped. The rain, the cold, the noise in my head, just gone. I stared at her, waiting for the joke, the laugh, the April Fools, even though it was October. But she didn't laugh. She just waited, cheeks red, eyes wide. "Say it again," I whispered. "I like you, Haru. I always have." I laughed, this stupid, shaky sound, and then I was moving. I grabbed her hands, cold and wet and perfect. "Mia. God, Mia, you have no idea. I've been in love with you since 7th grade. Since the day you shared your umbrella with me even though I called you short." She let out a wet laugh. "You still call me short. Because you are." I stepped closer. I turned down every girl who ever asked me out. Every single one. My friends thought I was broken. I wasn't. I was just waiting for you. Her eyes filled up. "Really? Really?" My voice cracked. "I practiced confessing to you in the mirror like an idiot. I wrote you letters I never sent. She threw her arms around my neck, umbrella clattering to the ground. I hugged her back so hard I was scared I'd break her, but she just held tighter. "I was so scared you only saw me as your childhood friend," she mumbled into my shoulder. "Like a little sister." "Never." I pulled back just enough to see her face. "You're everything, Mia. Everything." She smiled, this small, trembling smile that wrecked me. "So, what happens now?" "Now." I laced my fingers through hers. "Now we walk home like this. And tomorrow we do it again. And the day after that." She squeezed my hand. "Promise. Promise." We walked the whole way home holding hands, rain soaking us both, talking nonstop. "I can't believe this is real," I said for the 10th time. "Believe it." She bumped her shoulder against mine. "I'm yours now, Haru. Officially." "Mine," I repeated, tasting the word. "I like that." When we reached her gate, she stood on her toes and kissed my cheek, quick and soft. "Text me when you get home, okay? Even if it's just to say you're home." "I'll text you 100 times." She laughed. "I'll reply to every single one." That night I couldn't sleep. I sent her goodnight messages until my phone died. She sent back hearts and sleepy voice notes that made me grin like an idiot in the dark. I finally fell asleep thinking tomorrow couldn't come fast enough. Morning came. I practically ran to school, rehearsing what I'd say when I saw her. Maybe steal a real kiss before homeroom, hold her hand in the hallway, tell the whole world she was my girlfriend now. I turned the corner by the lockers and there she was. Laughing. Her head thrown back, that same smile she gave me yesterday, but now it was for Alex. Perfect, rich, student council president Alex leaning against the wall, saying something that made her laugh again. My steps slowed. She saw me. Our eyes met for half a second. Then she looked away. Quick, deliberate. Like I was nobody. My stomach dropped so fast I felt sick. Yesterday she was mine. Today she wouldn't even look at me. I leaned against the oak tree by the soccer field, checking my phone for the 100th time. Mia was 20 minutes late, again. The wind picked up, rustling the leaves above me, and I shoved my hands into my hoodie pocket to keep them warm. Finally, I spotted her jogging over, her ponytail swinging. She looked flushed, biting her lip like she always did when she was nervous. Sorry, she called, breathless as she reached me. "Coach kept us forever." "It's fine," I said, smiling even though my stomach was twisted. "Yesterday, you left with Alex pretty fast. Everything okay?" She laughed, but it sounded forced. "Oh my God, you're still on that? He just needed help with chem homework. His lab partner bailed, and I'm the only one who understands stoichiometry." I nodded, relief flooding through me. "Of course. that made sense. Phew. I was just worried. Worried? She bumped my shoulder with hers, grinning. About Alex? Please. He's like a golden retriever in human form. Harmless. Yeah, I guess. I laughed with her because when Mia laughed, the whole world felt lighter. She glanced around, then leaned in closer. Walk me to the library? I've got a free period. We started across the quad, her arm brushing mine. So, she said, did you finish the English essay? Barely. It sucked. You're such a drama queen. She rolled her eyes. Bet you got an A anyway. Before I could answer, someone called my name. Hey, wait up. I turned, and my brain short-circuited. Lily Harper, Alex's Lily, was waving at me. The Lily. Long auburn hair, green eyes, the kind of smile that made teachers forget homework was late. She was jogging toward us in her cheer uniform, ponytail bouncing. Mia slowed down. Who's that waving at you? I have no idea. Lily stopped right in front of me, slightly out of breath. Hi. You're in my AP Lit class, right? You sit 3 rows back? Yeah. Hi. I'm Lily. She stuck out her hand like we were adults at a networking event. I shook it, trying not to stare at how soft her skin was. Mia cleared her throat. Oh, this is Mia, I said quickly. Hey, Lily said, flashing Mia a perfect smile. Anyway, I missed like half the notes on Monday. Food poisoning, gross, I know. Could I maybe borrow yours? I'll totally buy you coffee as payment. My mouth went dry. Sure. Yeah. No problem. Awesome. She touched my forearm lightly. You're a lifesaver. Library now? I've got study hall. I glanced at Mia. Her smile looked glued on. I was just heading there anyway, Mia said, voice bright. Too bright. We can all go together. But when we got to the library, Mia's phone buzzed. She checked it and sighed. Shoot. My mom needs me to pick up my little brother. Rain check on studying? Yeah, of course, I said. She hugged me quickly, stiffer than usual, and whispered, text me later, okay? Then she was gone. Lily slid into the chair next to me, closer than necessary. Your girlfriend's sweet. She's not, we're not official yet. Lily's eyes lit up. Oh, cool. She smelled like vanilla and something floral. We opened our notebooks, but she kept leaning over to see my notes, her hair brushing my arm. You have really neat handwriting, she said, tracing a finger over my page. Most guys write like chickens. Thanks. She laughed softly. So, Alex says you're really good at explaining symbolism. Think you could help me with the Great Gatsby stuff later this week? Across the table, I caught a glimpse of Mia through the library window. She'd stopped outside, staring in at us. For 1 second, her face crumpled, eyes narrow, mouth tight. Then she saw me looking and forced a smile, waving before turning away. My chest ached. Why did she look so mad? Lily was still talking. Maybe Thursday? After practice? Sure, I said distractedly. Great. She wrote her number on the corner of my notes and tore it off. Text me. That night, I was sprawled on my bed when my phone lit up. Mia, hey. Mia, can we keep things quiet for now? Like not tell everyone yet? Mia, I'm just not ready for all the questions and stuff. My heart dropped into my stomach. Yeah, of course. Me, whatever you want. Mia, you're the best. Mia, night babe. I stared at the ceiling, the glow of my phone burning into my eyes. She was just shy. That's all. Girls like Mia didn't want the whole school in their business. It didn't mean anything bad. But Lily's number was still on my desk, folded neatly. And Mia's face in the library window wouldn't leave my head. I pushed open the cafeteria doors with my shoulder, balancing the pink bento box I'd stayed up until 2 a.m. perfecting. Tamagoyaki rolled just right, heart-shaped onigiri, little octopus sausages, Mia's favorite since we were 8. My palms were sweaty. Today was the day. 1 week after I poured my stupid heart out in the rain, she'd finally texted, "Come find me at lunch." That heart emoji had kept me awake grinning like an idiot. The noise hit me first, then the circle of phones. Mia was in the middle of the long table, perched on Alex's lap like she belonged there. His hand was under her skirt, high on her thigh, and she was kissing him, really kissing him, tongue and everything. Someone hooped. A flash went off right in front of them. Finally official. Jake yelled from the end of the table, holding his phone up like a trophy. My feet stopped working. The bento felt suddenly ridiculous in my hands. Mia broke the kiss for air, laughing that light, bubbly laugh I'd loved since elementary school. Then her eyes flicked past Alex's shoulder and landed on me. Her face drained of color. Lips still wet from him, she froze. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't even drop the box. She didn't push Alex away. Didn't stand up. Just stared at me for one endless second, then turned back to him and dragged his mouth down to hers again, harder, like she was proving something. A phone flashed in my direction now. Someone snickered. "Ah, look, delivery boy's here." My knees felt watery. The bento shook in my grip. That's when Lily grabbed my arm. Tight, almost painful. "Ignore them," she said, loud enough that half the cafeteria turned. "Come on. Let's eat together from now on." She yanked me sideways so hard I stumbled. The bento lid popped. One heart onigiri rolled across the floor and stopped against someone's sneaker. "Lily," my voice cracked like a middle schooler's. "Don't," she hissed, steering me toward the empty table by the vending machines. "Don't give them the satisfaction." I let her drag me. My legs worked again, but everything else felt numb. We sat. She shoved a tray of curry bread between us like a shield. "Eat," she ordered. "I'm not hungry." "Too bad." She tore the bread in half and shoved a piece into my hand. "You look like you're about to puke or cry. Pick one and get it over with." I stared at the bread. Steam curled up. My eyes burned. Across the room, Mia laughed again, too loud. Alex whispered something in her ear, and she giggled, slapping his chest playfully. "She used me," I said. The words tasted like rust. That night, when I told her I liked her, she cried and said she needed time. Then the next day she started flirting with him in front of me. She wanted to see if he'd get jealous. Lily didn't say, "I told you so," even though she'd warned me 100 times. She just chewed slowly watching them. "Guess it worked," she muttered. Another flash. Someone posted it already. I could tell by the way phones lit up around the room. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Probably the group chat exploding. I didn't check. "She knew I'd see this," I whispered. "She wanted me to." Lily's hand landed on mine, squeezing until it hurt. "Then don't let her win. Look at me." I dragged my eyes to her face. She looked furious, eyebrows drawn, mouth tight. "You're not the joke here," she said. "They are. And everyone watching knows it." From the other table, Mia's voice rang out, fake sweet. "Babe, did you see that sad little bento? Someone must have mixed up the orders." Laughter rippled. Alex smirked, arm tightening around her waist. My fingers went cold around the bread. Lily stood up so fast her chair screeched. "Hey, Mia," she called, voice cutting through the noise like a knife. "Tell me, how long did it take you to plan this? A week of pretending to think about his confession while you waited for Alex to notice you again? That's some next-level pathetic." The cafeteria went dead quiet. Mia's head snapped around. Alex's smirk faltered. Lily smiled, cold and sharp. Or was it always the plan? Use your oldest friend to light a fire under your ex's ass? Classy. Really classy. Mia opened her mouth, closed it. Her face went red, then white again. Someone in the back whispered, "Damn." I couldn't breathe. I grabbed Lily's wrist. "Stop." "No," she said without looking at me. "She doesn't get to humiliate you and walk away smiling." Mia finally found her voice. "This isn't about you, Lily." "Oh, it's about him." Lily jerked her chin toward me. "And you just shattered him in front of the entire school for a guy who cheated on you last month. Hope it was worth it." Alex shifted under her, suddenly uncomfortable. "Hey, chill." "Shut up, Alex," Lily and I said at the exact same time. A few people laughed, real laughs this time, not cruel ones. Mia slid off Alex's lap, smoothing her skirt with shaky hands. She wouldn't look at me. I stood up slowly. My voice didn't shake anymore. I made you octopus sausages, I said. Every word felt like glass in my throat. Because you said last week you missed your mom's. I stayed up all night. Mia's eyes flicked to the floor where the spilled onigiri lay squashed under someone's shoe. I'm sorry, she whispered, so quiet I barely heard it. You're not, I said. You're just sorry I saw. I picked up the bento box, lid hanging crooked, food ruined. Then I looked straight at her, at both of them, and dumped the whole thing into the nearest trash can. The lid clattered loud in the silence. Lily grabbed my hand. Come on. We're done here. As we walked out, I didn't look back once. But I felt Mia staring after me the whole way. I hadn't eaten in 4 days. The thought of food made my stomach twist the same way thinking about Mia did. I sat cross-legged on my bedroom floor, surrounded by printed photos I'd dug out of a shoebox under my bed. There was the one from last summer's festival, Mia's tongue out, fairy lights tangled in her hair, my arm around her waist. Another from the beach, her head heavy on my shoulder while the sun set behind us. I traced her smile with my thumb until the paper started to wear thin. My phone screen glowed in the dark. I scrolled back to 2 weeks ago. Mia, you're my soulmate, stupid red heart. Mia, can't wait to wake up next to you every day when we move in together. Mia, love you more than anything. I read them until the words blurred. Then I threw the phone across the room and curled into a ball, sobbing so hard my ribs hurt. The vomit came sudden and sour, splashing onto the carpet before I could stop it. I didn't even try to clean it up. Sweetheart. Mom's voice was soft through the door. It was 3 a.m. again. The knob turned slowly. She stepped over the mess without a word, knelt, and pulled me against her chest like I was 5 years old. Oh, baby. I can't breathe, Mom, I whispered into her nightgown. Every time I breathe it hurts. I know. She rocked me. I know. She didn't ask questions. She just held me until the shaking stopped and the room smelled like puke and her 16 again. Morning came too bright. I dragged myself to school because Mom threatened to call Dad if I missed another day. The whispers started the second I walked through the doors. That's the guy Mia dumped for Alex, right? Bro got played so bad. Pathetic. I kept my head down, hoodie up, hands shoved deep in my pockets. Alex leaned against the lockers, arms slung around Mia's shoulders like he owned her now. When he saw me, his smirk cut straight through my chest. Rough week, man, he called, loud enough for everyone to hear. Heard you've been crying in your room like a little bitch. A couple guys laughed. Mia's eyes flicked to me for half a second. She looked away so fast it burned. I slammed into the bathroom and locked myself in a stall until the bell rang. Lunch was worse. I sat alone at the end table, staring at a sandwich I had no intention of touching. That's when Lily slid into the seat across from me, quiet as always. Hey, she said, voice barely above the cafeteria noise. She pushed a bag of goldfish crackers toward me. You look like you haven't eaten since everything. I shrugged. My throat felt raw. Not hungry. You'll pass out if you keep going like this. She opened the bag and poured a few into my hand anyway. Just one. For me. I stared at the tiny orange fish in my palm. For some reason I put one in my mouth. It tasted like nothing. Lily watched me chew, her brown eyes soft behind her glasses. People are assholes, Dut say. Alex is loving this. He thinks it makes him look big. He can have the spotlight, I muttered. My voice cracked. He can have her. Lily was quiet for a minute. Then, you know, she texted me last night? Said she feels guilty but that it just happened. Like that makes it okay. I laughed, bitter and broken. It just happened. But while I was buying her favorite flowers for our 6-month anniversary. Lily reached across the table and touched my wrist, light, like she was afraid I'd pull away. I didn't. I'm sorry, Cam. Her voice was the gentlest thing I'd heard in days. You didn't deserve this. I looked at her hand on my skin. Steady. For the first time in a week, I didn't feel like the world was ending. Just cracking a little. Thanks, Lil, I said, and my voice didn't sound like a dying animal. She smiled, small, careful. Anytime. And hey, eat another goldfish. I'm not leaving till you do. I did. I was sprawled on the couch at 2:17 a.m., thumb hovering over the screen, when I tapped the wrong group chat icon. The old one. The one I'd left months ago after Mia ghosted me. Someone had added me back. Probably Jake being an idiot again. The video loaded instantly. Mia's face filled the frame, hair tossed over one shoulder, that smug little smile I used to think was cute. She was laughing, wine glass in hand, surrounded by the usual crowd. "Guys, you should have seen his face when I finally gave him attention," she said, rolling her eyes like it was the funniest story ever. "He was so easy. I just had to say a few sweet words and he fell right into it. Like, completely hooked." Sarah leaned in, giggling. "Wait, you mean Alex? The whole time you were playing him just to make Alex jealous." "Obviously," Mia snorted. "It worked, didn't it? Alex finally noticed me because of that jealousy plan. Took long enough." The room in the video erupted in laughter. Someone off camera yelled, "Poor bastard never saw it coming." My thumb froze. The phone felt suddenly cold against my palm. She kept talking. "I mean, come on, he actually thought I liked him. Sent me paragraphs every night. It was pathetic, but useful." Useful. The word punched the air out of my lungs. I dropped the phone onto my chest like it burned. Stared at the ceiling until the fan blurred. Useful. I sat up slowly, grabbed the phone again, and watched it one more time, just to be sure I hadn't imagined it. Nope. Same smug grin. Same laugh track from people I used to call friends. Something inside me cracked open, sharp and clean, like ice breaking on a pond. I opened my camera roll. Hundreds of photos of her, smiling at concerts, asleep on my shoulder, that stupid selfie in my hoodie she never gave back. My thumb hovered. Delete. Delete all? My heart hammered so hard I could hear it. Delete all. They vanished one by one, then all at once. Gone. I opened Instagram. Her profile picture's still there, mocking me. Fuck. Snapchat. Fuck. Fuck. TikTok. Fuck. Everywhere. Like pulling plugs from a sinking ship. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I stood up, walked to the bathroom and flipped on the light. The mirror showed a guy I barely recognized, eyes red, jaw clenched so tight it hurt. I leaned in until my forehead almost touched the glass. "They used you," I whispered to my reflection. My voice sounded raw, like I hadn't used it in weeks. "They laughed about it." I watched my own eyes harden. "If they want to play games," I said, slower this time, tasting every word, "I'll play better." A cold smile tugged at my mouth, nothing warm about it. Revenge? Maybe. Healing? Maybe that too. I didn't know yet. But I was done being the punchline. I turned off the light, walked back to the couch and opened a new group chat. Just me and one other name I hadn't spoken to in years. My fingers flew across the screen. "Hey, you still hate Mia as much as you used to?" 3 dots appeared almost instantly. "More," came the reply. "Why?" I exhaled, long and slow. "Because I just woke up," I typed. "And I'm done letting her win." The dots danced again. Then, "About fucking time. What's the plan?" I stared at the screen, that cold thing in my chest spreading into something sharp and bright. I smiled for real this time. "The plan," I said out loud to the empty room, "is whatever hurts the most." I barely made it through the morning classes, stomach growling, head pounding from another night of zero sleep. When the lunch bell rang, I headed for the stairwell like usual, my hiding spot since Mia dumped me. But there she was again. Lily, blocking the door with that stubborn tilt to her chin. "Nope. Not today, Evan." She grabbed my sleeve before I could duck past. "Rooftop. Now. I'm not hungry. You haven't eaten a real meal in 3 weeks. I'm not asking." I opened my mouth to argue, but she was already tugging me up the stairs. Her grip was warm. Annoyingly warm. I followed because fighting felt like too much effort. The rooftop door banged shut behind us. Wind whipped her dark hair across her face as she shoved a paper bag at me. "Eat the sandwich or I swear I'll feed you like a toddler." I took it just to shut her up. "Turkey and cheese. My favorite." "How'd you even know?" "I pay attention." She plopped down on the ledge, legs swinging. Unlike some people who only notice the girl who rips their heart out and stomps on it. I flinched. Low blow. Truth hurts. She unwrapped her own sandwich. So does starving yourself, apparently. Silence stretched while I picked at the bread. She didn't fill it. Just waited, chewing slowly, eyes on the soccer field below. Finally I muttered, "Why are you doing this?" "Because someone has to." She turned to me. "And because I want to." That doesn't answer anything. Lily sighed. "Fine. You want the real answer?" Would have been nice 3 weeks ago when everyone else vanished. I was here 3 weeks ago. You just didn't see me. She pulled her backpack onto her lap, unzipped it. "Close your eyes." "What? No. Trust me for 30 seconds, Evan. Please." I closed them. Heard pages flipping. Open. She held out a sketchbook. Thick, worn, edges curled. The page she'd opened to made my breath catch. It was me. Laughing in the art room freshman year, charcoal smudged on my cheek. The next page, me asleep on my desk in history, mouth open. Another, me kicking the winning goal sophomore year, arms thrown up. Page after page. Dozens of them. All me. My voice came out rough. "Lily. Keep going." I turned another page. Me in the library, headphones on, smiling at something on my phone. The date in the corner was from last spring, when Mia and I were still together. "You drew these while I was dating her?" "I drew them because I couldn't not draw them." She hugged her knees. "I liked you the first day of freshman art when you told Mr. Chen his still-life banana looked like a sad foot. I've liked you every day since. But you only had eyes for Mia, and she made sure everyone knew you were off-limits." I stared at the sketches. My own face looking back, happy, alive, nothing like the hollow thing I saw in the mirror now. "Why didn't you ever say anything?" "Because I'm not the girl who steals someone else's boyfriend. And because you looked at her like she hung the moon." Her voice dropped. "Then she cheated with Alex and threw you away like garbage. And I got mad. At her. At both of them. But mostly at her." Lily's fingers traced the edge of a drawing. "Alex never even liked Mia. He just saw you finally had something good and decided he wanted to take it. Classic Alex. He hates losing more than he likes winning." I laughed, actually laughed. It hurt my chest. "You sound like you know him pretty well." "Unfortunately. He asked me out sophomore year." I said no. "He didn't take it great." The wind picked up. I closed the sketchbook gently, like it might fall apart. "These are incredible. They're just you." She shrugged, cheeks pink. "You're easy to draw when you're happy." "I haven't been happy in weeks." "I know." She bumped my shoulder. "But you ate half the sandwich, so we're making progress." I looked down. Yeah, I demolished it without noticing. My stomach didn't hurt anymore. "Lil." "Yeah. I don't know how to do this again." "You don't have to know yet." She stood, brushed crumbs off her skirt. "Just keep showing up to lunch. I'll handle the rest." That became our routine. Every day she dragged me to the roof. Some days I barely spoke. Some days the words spilled out. How Mia said I was too safe, too predictable. How Alex texted me the morning after, laughing emojis and "bro, she's fire." How I kept checking my phone like she might apologize. Lily listened to all of it. Never told me to get over it. Just handed me chips and said, "Keep going." One Thursday the sky threatened rain. We sat under the overhang, sharing earbuds, her playlist all songs I'd never heard but somehow needed. "You know people are talking about us," I said. "Let them." She stole one of my fries. "Mia cornered me in the bathroom yesterday. Asked if we were a thing now." My pulse spiked. "What did you say?" "That it was none of her business." Lily smirked. She didn't like that. I pictured Mia's face, those narrowed green eyes when something didn't go her way. She's not used to losing either. Exactly. Which means we're doing something right. We started walking home together after that. Her house was only 3 blocks past mine. At first we didn't talk much, just footsteps and the occasional, "watch the puddle." Then the conversations grew. She told me about her mom leaving when she was 8. I told her about my dad's deployment last year. Normal stuff. Real stuff. By the third week, the whispers followed us down every hallway. I caught Mia watching once, arms crossed, lips tight, Alex's hand on her waist like a claim. Lily noticed too. She slipped her fingers through mine right in front of them. Problem? She asked Mia, sweet as poison. Mia's smile didn't reach her eyes. Just surprised. Didn't think Evan went for charity cases. Lily's grip tightened. Funny. I didn't think cheaters got an opinion. I squeezed back. My heart wasn't racing from fear anymore. It was racing because for the first time in months, it felt like it might actually start beating again. I stood outside Alex's house longer than I should have, staring at the cars lining the street and the bass thumping through the open windows. My phone buzzed again. Lily, I'm 2 minutes away. Don't chicken out on me now. Almost did. After everything, walking into that party felt like volunteering to get kicked while I was already bleeding. But then her little Honda pulled up, and she hopped out in this short black dress that made my chest hurt in a whole new way. She grabbed my hand without asking. You look good in that suit, she said, squeezing my fingers. Your dad would be proud. Don't bring him into this, I muttered, but I let her drag me toward the door. The second we stepped inside, the music didn't stop, but the talking did. Heads turned. Phones lifted. Someone actually whispered, "Holy shit, he came." Alex was in the middle of the living room, arms slung around Mia like she was a trophy he'd already won. When he saw us, his laugh cracked out too loud, too sharp. Well, the ghost decided to haunt us, he shouted, raising his red cup. A couple of his lacrosse buddies howled like that was the funniest thing they'd heard all year. Mia's eyes locked on me. She looked smaller than I remembered. Or maybe I was just finally seeing clearly. Lily leaned in so only I could hear. Keep your chin up. We're just here to dance. So we did. We moved into the crowd, and people parted like they were scared my bad luck might rub off. Lily pressed against me, hands on my shoulders, smiling like none of this mattered. You're stiff, she teased. Loosen up before you snap. I'm trying, I said into her ear. It's just, every single person here watched me fall apart. Not every person, she answered, nodding toward the kitchen where a couple of sophomore girls were sneaking glances and giggling. Some of them are wondering what it'd be like to be the one holding your hand right now. I laughed, actually laughed, and it felt foreign in my throat. Across the room, Mia was staring again. Alex kept trying to turn her face back to him, kissing her neck too hard, like he was marking territory. She let him, but her eyes never left me. 2 hours later I was buzzing pretty good. Someone had handed me a drink, then another, and I needed air. I slipped into the hallway that led to the bathroom, leaning against the wall just to breathe. That's when the door behind me opened and Mia stumbled out, mascara already smudged. She saw me and froze. You came, she whispered, like she hadn't watched me walk in. Lily made me. Mia stepped closer, the hallway light catching the wet tracks on her cheeks. Why are you with her? To punish me? I almost felt bad for her. Almost. No, Mia. I'm with her because she didn't cheat on me for 3 months and then dumped me the day my dad died. Her face crumpled. That timing was awful, I know, but what? You needed a shoulder to cry on and Alex's looked comfier? I only started talking to him to make you jealous, she blurted, voice cracking. You were always so busy with your dad's treatments, you stopped noticing me and I thought. I laughed again, colder this time. You thought sleeping with my best friend would make me pay more attention? Jesus, Mia. She grabbed my sleeve. I ended things with him tonight. I couldn't. I kept watching you with her and it killed me. I made a mistake. I looked down at her hand on my arm, then back at her tear-streaked face. No, I said quietly. You didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. Every day for 3 months you chose him. You chose the texts, the sleepovers, the lies. And when my dad took his last breath, you chose to send that breakup message instead of being there. She was sobbing now, shoulders shaking. Please. I love you. You loved the idea of me chasing you, I said, peeling her fingers off my sleeve. You wanted Alex to want you more because I stopped begging. Congratulations. He wants you. Enjoy your prize. I stepped around her, heading back toward the music and the lights and Lily waiting somewhere in the middle of it all. Behind me, Mia sank down against the wall, crying into her hands. I didn't look back. I was in the library when the first whispers hit me like static. Did you hear about Mia? Caught red-handed. Proctor saw her phone under the desk. Alex too, but he's saying it was all her idea. My stomach tightened. I pretended to keep reading my notes, but every word blurred. Part of me wanted to feel nothing. Most of me felt everything. By lunch, the entire senior hallway was a circus. Phones out, screenshots flying. Someone had leaked the Honor Council email, names redacted, but everyone knew. I spotted Alex near the vending machines, surrounded by his lacrosse guys like nothing happened. He was laughing. Actually laughing. Then Mia walked past. She looked smaller somehow, shoulders curved in, hair hiding half her face. The hallway didn't part for her this time. It closed. Alex's voice cut through the noise, loud enough for everyone. Hey Mia. Thanks for the study notes, by the way. Real creative answers. A couple guys snorted. Someone filmed it. Mia stopped. Turned. Her eyes were red but dry. That's not what you said when you begged me to help you pass, Alex. Begged? He grinned at his audience. Come on. You were just trying to stay relevant after I dumped your clingy ass. You were a rebound anyway, everyone knows that. The hallway went dead quiet, then erupted. Mia's mouth opened, closed. She looked around, nobody met her eyes. Not one of the girls who'd spent years orbiting her like moons. She saw me leaning against the lockers. For a second our eyes locked. I didn't move. Didn't smile. Didn't save her. She turned and walked away. That afternoon the suspension letter went out. 3 weeks for Mia. Alex got a warning because, according to the rumor, he cried in the dean's office and swore she forced him. His parents donated the new turf field last year. Math is math. By evening her Instagram was gone. Her TikTok blank. Her entire digital kingdom erased. My phone buzzed at 11:47 p.m. Unknown number, it's Mia. New phone. Can we talk please? I stared at the message until the screen went dark. Another buzz. Unknown number, I'm sorry. I know I deserve this but please just let me explain. I opened the chat. The little read receipt popped up under her text. I locked the phone and set it face down. Next day she wasn't at school. Her usual table in the cafeteria sat empty. The girls who once fought to sit there now acted like it had always been theirs. At lunch I walked past it anyway. Someone had sharpened "cheater" across the surface in big black letters. No one had bothered to clean it off. My phone kept vibrating in my pocket all week. Unknown number, I have nowhere to stay after next month. My parents cut me off. Unknown number, they're selling the horse too. Said I embarrassed the family. Unknown number, please say something. Anything. Unknown number, I was awful to you. I know. But I'm scared. Unknown number, are you really going to leave me like this? Every time the read popped up and nothing followed, I felt the same twist in my chest, half satisfaction, half sickness. Friday after last period, I finally opened the thread again. Her last message was from 3:12 a.m. Unknown number, I get it. Karma, right? You win. I hovered over the keyboard. My thumbs didn't move. I swiped up and blocked the number. Walking out to the parking lot, the November air bit cold and clean. For the first time in years nobody was watching me, waiting for me to flinch or fall. I got in my car, started the engine, and let the quiet settle. Karma didn't need my help anymore. She was doing just fine on her own. I stood beneath the cherry tree, the same one where Mia had shattered everything a year ago. Petals drifted down like soft pink snow, catching in Lily's hair as she smiled up at me. My heart raced, not with the old ache, but something warmer, tentative. Remember this spot? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Lily tilted her head, brushing a petal from my shoulder. How could I forget? You told me everything that day. About her lies, the promises she broke right here. I nodded, swallowing hard. Yeah. Exactly here. She said she'd choose me, but she never did. And now? Lily's eyes searched mine, soft and steady. Well, I want to make a new memory. With you. I took her hands, lacing our fingers. Lily, will you be my girlfriend? For real this time? She laughed, that light sound that always pulled me out of the dark. Took you long enough to ask properly. Yes, Alex. Yes, 1,000 times. I pulled her close, our lips meeting under the raining petals. It wasn't fireworks or thunder, it was quiet, real, like breathing after holding it for too long. Her hands cupped my face, and I kissed her deeper, tasting spring and second chances. When we broke apart, foreheads touching, she whispered, "You're shaking." Am I? I hadn't noticed. It's just, this feels different. Good different. Because it's honest, she said, tracing my jaw. No games. No second place. I closed my eyes, letting her words sink in. I still think about her sometimes. Is that bad? No. It's human. But do you still check her profiles? Scroll through old photos at 2 a.m.? I shook my head. Not anymore. Deleted the last one yesterday. The one from our anniversary trip. It hurt, but I needed to. Lily squeezed my hand. That's huge, Alex. That's you choosing yourself. Choosing us, I corrected. She grinned. Even better. Tell me something, when did you know? That I was ready? When you didn't flinch the night I cried about her in your car. You just held me and said, "You're allowed to hurt. But you're not allowed to stay there." I meant it. I know. That's why I'm here. Petals kept falling, sticking to our clothes. Mia always said this tree was lucky. She lied about everything else, but maybe she was right about that. Or maybe luck has nothing to do with it, Lily said, stepping back but keeping my hand. Maybe it's just timing. And choice. My choice, I said firmly. Your choice. She repeated it like a promise. I looked up at the branches heavy with blossoms. Last spring, I stood here begging her to stay. Crying like an idiot while she walked away. And this spring, I'm not begging anyone for anything. I met her eyes. I'm just happy. Like, stupidly happy. Lily's smile turned mischievous. Prove it. I kissed her again, longer this time, until we were both breathless and laughing against each other's lips. You deserve this, she murmured when we pulled apart. You deserve someone who chooses you first. Every day. Without hesitation. For the first time, I believed her. The ache was still there, a bruise not quite faded, but it didn't own me anymore. I wasn't healed, not completely, but I was getting there. One honest kiss at a time. I choose you too, I said. Today. Tomorrow. All the springs we get. She rested her head on my chest, right over my heartbeat. Then let's stay here a little longer. Let the petals bury the old stuff. So we did. We stood wrapped in each other while the tree rained forgiveness down on us, and I didn't look back once. I stood on the sun-drenched lawn, diploma in hand, the tassel brushing my cheek as the crowd cheered for the last time. Caps flew into the air, but my eyes scanned the sea of black gowns until they landed on her. Mia. She was waiting by the oak tree, the one we used to sit under. Her eyes were red, swollen, like she'd been crying for days. She looked smaller than I remembered. Fragile. She saw me and started walking over, clutching her cap like a lifeline. Alex, her voice cracked the second she said my name. I stopped. Didn't move closer. Just waited. I've been trying to find the words for weeks, she said, stepping nearer. I practiced this 100 times in my head. But now that you're here. I said nothing. My chest felt strangely hollow. I'm so sorry, she whispered. For everything. For pushing you away. For saying it was just stress, just timing, just me being scared. I lied to myself. I lied to you. She swallowed hard. I did love you. I really did. I realize that now. But I loved you so much it terrified me. And instead of holding on, I sabotaged it. Because I thought if I ended it first, it wouldn't hurt as bad. A bitter laugh slipped out of her. It hurt worse. I stared at her. The girl who once made my heart race just by smiling now felt like a ghost. Say something, she pleaded. Please. I took a slow breath. You know what the worst part was? I finally said, my voice steady. It wasn't even the breakup. It was how easily you walked away. Like 2 years meant nothing. Like I was just disposable. Her lips trembled. You weren't. You were everything. Maybe, I said. But you loved your pride more. You loved being the one who ended it. The one in control. And I let you have that control for way too long. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I don't want to lose you forever, she said. I know I don't deserve another chance. But if there's even a tiny part of you that... There isn't, I cut in softly. Not anymore. She flinched like I'd slapped her. I waited for you for months, I said. Every text I didn't send. Every night I almost called. I kept thinking if I just heard enough, you'd come back. But you never did. I was wrong, she choked out. Yeah, I said. You were. I looked at her for one last moment. The wind tugged at her hair. She looked exactly like the girl I fell in love with. And I felt almost nothing. Goodbye, Mia. I turned and walked away. She called my name once, weak, broken, but I didn't stop. Ahead, Lily was waving, grinning beside my mom and dad. She'd saved me a spot under the shade, her diploma tucked under her arm, eyes bright with the future. I reached her, slipped my hand into hers without thinking. You okay? She asked quietly. I glanced back once. Mia stood alone under the tree, watching us. For the first time in a year, I said, squeezing Lily's hand, I really am.